Summer sun was burning red, the warning sirens cried. Episode 88 stood tall, then Cobra changed the tide. Raised one gloved hand on high. Fire team 788 marched in to claim both earth and sky. Steel Corps locked their rifles down, standing side by side. Then Starduster lit the heavens with a fearless ranger's stride. Trace of fire chased every cloud. The battle lines were drawn. The crowd looked up in disbelief. The summer war was on. Orders met determination. Courage answered fear. One side fought for conquest, one to keep hope here. Summer of 788, fire in the evening light. Every inch of sky was burning, still the Joes refused to die. Summer of 788, hear those engines scream. Steel stood fast below the fire, while Starduster ruled the scene. The officer kept pointing forward, pushed them from the hill. Cobra troopers stormed through dust and smoke, driven by sheer will. Range Viper stalked the shadows, patient as the night. But every ambush found itself caught in blazing flight. Steel Corps never broke the line. One man, one woman, not one step gave away. Watching legends overhead as courage cleared the way. One side lived for power, one side served the free. The battlefield remembered who they chose to be. Summer of 788, fire in the evening light. Every inch of sky was burning, still the Joes refused to die. Summer of 788, raise your banners high. Fire team and fearless heroes under one umbrella. smoke rose with the breeze. The steel corp held the battlefield. Starduster on the breeze. One summer, one battle, one unforgettable sky. Summer of 788. Then Range Viper said, "Told you, we should have waited for the hiss tank." Yo, Joe, listen up, I got a story to tell about a guy named Logan. Oh, he's so swell.
Wait, that's me.
I'm the G.I. Joe gamer, cool and witty, talking about those characters, heroes and villains. On Wednesday nights we shout, Yo, Joe,
Or Cobra.
talking about the Joe team and a Cobra tide. Yo, Joe, Cobra, Cobra. I'm here to give my G.I. Joe takes. Oh yeah, Yo, Cobra, Cobra. Joe's got snake eyes, the silent ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. Then there's Duke, the leader, so bold, gung-ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Scarlet, the ultimate girl power. A fierce warrior, she'll make her enemies cower. Cobra's got Destro to supply the weapons. Cobra Commander plots and schemes, see ruling the world in his dreams. Zartan is never what he seems, and Baroness rocks that black leather outfit. Shoots you quick and slip out the back of the pit. Yo, Joe, Cobra, Cobra. I'm here to give my G.I. Joe takes. Oh yeah, Yo, Joe, Cobra, Cobra. Talking about the characters, it's a G.I. Joe thing. Oh yeah! Let's do this.
Mature content warning. On Logan's Joe Takes, strategic commentary may include strong language, heated opinions, classified references. Time to call in the Joes. Opposing forces may attempt audio interference. Logan's Joe Takes. Mission begins now.
Oh, hello, I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe gamer. This is Joe Takes 88. So we're gonna have some fun tonight. I've got a big mashup for you. We're having Fire Team 788 take over the episode. This is episode 88. Fire Team 788. 788 episodes, right? So we're going to do that on episode 88 tonight. I got 5 file cards for you. Now I know there were 6 characters. However, I'm doing Range Viper by himself because I haven't done Range Viper before. I have done Cobra Officer and Cobra Trooper before, and I will be doing them again in a Joe Takes reissue coming up here in the next few months here. Just a few months, not very long, but with this in this season. So. And then, we've got, I put together a file card for Fire Team 788. So there's your 2. And then I have Steel Corps Troopers. I've got their file card. And then the female Steel Corps Trooper, I made a file card for her and gave her a code name. Well, not really a code name yet. She hasn't earned her code name yet, but she got her name. And then Starduster. So we're going to be talking all that right now. But we're going to start by looking at some figures. Now, my oldest G.I. Joe that I still have intact actually has a Cobra Trooper or soldier's head and a Cobra officer's body, because I had both, but this is all that survived from both of them. So I do have the Cobra Officer body and the Cobra Trooper head. I don't. I know what happened to my Cobra Officer head. It's on a Cobra Commander body. I redid that character and had some fun with that. And of course the AK-47 is from a weapons accessory pack. But this is I did buy this one in 1983. So, but I wasn't even collecting GI Joe then. I didn't know what they were. I thought they just looked cool, both of them. So I picked up both. And so I had them in my collection when I started collecting G.I. Joe. I already had them already. So my first two characters I bought as a part of my collection, which made me want to start collecting, was Shipwreck and the Baroness. So, but here is a Cobra Officer Complete. Now, I do have a Cobra Trooper Complete somewhere, but not as nice as this. I have a Viper. I have a Viper 6-pack for Vipers, but I didn't get that 6-pack for Cobra Troopers that I wish I had. But this is what he actually came with in a comic pack. And this is actually, I don't know if you can see it, but Scarface from the comic book. He actually has a scar under this eye here, like right there. But it's hard to see. Yeah, I know. But that's how it is. But so yeah, they're part of Fire Team 788. And then I have a character I haven't looked at before. That would be Range Viper, which is why I didn't look at him with my Vipers coming last month, because I was going to show him off here. This is a complete Range Viper, the hose, the backpack, the grenade launcher, and the rocket launcher. He also has a knife, and I have one of those, and I've got it with my second Range Viper that I have. And so there's my other Range Viper. He's got the grenade launcher, and then he's got this cool knife with a little, like almost arrowhead looking knife point. It's pretty cool, his combat knife. He's got these two little grooves, so he's got like a disarming effect on his dagger. It's almost like a parrying dagger, but yet I wish I wish I could show you a better example, and I will be able to, because I have the Fire Team 788 Range Viper. Now, I never got the classified Range Viper, which they actually have out again on Hasbro Pulse right now. And I just don't have the money to pick it up right now. But for some reason, when they did the Fire Team 788, they had got all these blast effects they had come with it. These are for the HISS tank. Not even for, actually they came with scrap iron, they're for the missile launcher, but they work on the HISS tank. And then naturally it came with that 9 blast effects set. I'm missing, I only have one of these. I lost the other one somewhere in the process of moving from my basement upstairs into where I'm at right now. But it came with all these blast effects, and so did the other set we're going to be looking at today, the Steel Core Troopers. So they have a set of 9, but I always thought we needed to look at one. I mean, they're different colors. Love the old smoking gun effect. Now, I don't think I used these. That's why I'm showing them off now in the Joe takes, so that I'll play at the end of the promo video I make for each episode that I play at the end. I had some fun with that one. Big old mashup between these 6 characters. But yeah, they're like blast effects, and they, like this, they don't look like much, but when you actually photograph them and check them out, they look pretty cool. We'll check the box out for Fire Team 788. So taking over this episode a little bit. It really was going to be Starduster's episode, but I was like, I looked up at my Fire Team 788 set, and I said, there we go. They are number 110 in the classified series. Showed you all the accessories on the back, which was pretty cool. So I have everything. I am missing, for some reason, my Range Viper's axe that he came with, and that's just one of the same axes that Alpine came with, like a pickaxe. But and I found it recently, but when I went to look for it again, I thought I put it in here, but I did not. And box art on the side is very cool. Of course, and you got the front. So that's the 788 box, Fire Team 788. What we got here? Hello, jukebox music. That's Joel. Hello, Joel. Hey, Joel, how you doing? And welcome in. Hey back, my friend. It's good to see you. We have also Zilla and Betty in the house too. I meant to shout her out too. I already shouted Zilla out, but it didn't come with a foot locker, but it did come with a box. It's like a foot locker. It has a little like handle on it to make it look like a case, but it opens from the side. And I put the accessories in here and store them in here, but it's not very practical as a foot locker because it doesn't pop open at the top. Now, the Cobra Trooper came with, and I'm going to show this separately because this was his accessories. He didn't come with any other weapons other than this missile launcher, and this is just bazooka set, and it slides open at the back, so you can put the rocket in there, or you can put it in the front, make it look like it's firing. Now, you can make it look like you get fired with this, but it looks okay. But so they had something that they could use this with, but these were really for the his tank, which was sold separately, which I don't have because it's an expensive deal. It was the very first HasLab for G.I. Joe, and it had like 4 or 5 figures with it, and the his tank, which was very awesome. There it is, and these come out of the backpack, and so you can look at each one. But I have looked at Bazooka already, and it's the exact same. It is the exact same rocket launcher, missile launcher, whatever you want to call it. And it doesn't stay on the Trooper very well. That's why I decided to show you separately. Otherwise, it just keep falling off. But this version of the Cobra Trooper is awesome. Now, I have done a Cobra Trooper video, so I'm not going to do a lot for this guy. I am going to move on because we have a lot to look at today, but I thought I'd give you a good look at these Fireteam 788 figures because they are pretty badass. And then, of course, we'll mash them up at the end of the episode and give our opinions on who we think would win. First, then you have the Cobra Officer, the Trooper, and the Officer came with 2 guns. I usually end up giving the Cobra Trooper this gun, and he's got, he got the knife, and then he's got the sidearm there. And like I said, I've looked at a Cobra Officer. I've done a Joe take on Cobra Officer, so I've got that already done. He has a spot here on his belt for another magazine for his gun that goes here. This actually, though, is a different gun than came with the Cobra Officer. This is the one that came with the Valkyrie set. So he's got like a Cobra Trooper gun from the cartoon. It's kind of cool. And the magazine for this does come out. So I did an episode on the Valkyries, so you can check that out. So I've done Cobra Troopers more than once, actually, with the Valkyries. The Valkyries are female Cobra Troopers. It's a 2-pack with a Cobra Trooper and a Cobra Officer, but they're ladies, so it's kind of cool. And I did a mashup with Grunt versus the Valkyries. It was pretty cool. Infantry versus infantry. And then we come to our Range Viper, which I will compare him to the original Range Viper because this is probably the only time I'm going to be taking a look at this Viper. The Range Viper is a cool character. I may not get the original. That would be cool. Maybe it'll come out with retro. Like I said, they did just come out with the original again on G.I. Joe Hasbro Pulse. So yeah, this plugs right into the back of the head. But like I said, these backpacks, not like the original, they don't stay on as well. We'll compare them up with the OG Range Viper side by side. Take a look, and he came with the grenade launcher, but then he came with a big old heavy machine gun as well, which I thought was cool. And then not a rocket launcher. They gave the rocket launcher to the Cobra Trooper for some reason. Dropped the rocket launcher, but I'll pick it up and I'll show it to you because the rocket launcher does come with this little. It comes with a missile that comes out, but I only have like 1 of these missiles, and it came with 2 if I remember right. And it's odd because I have 2 Range Vipers, but I only have 1 rocket launcher and 1 little rocket that goes in there. It just slides right back in there. It just comes out, which was pretty cool for back in 1990 when Range Viper originally came out. Set him down. And so that's Range Viper. Now, I thought what was neat about Range Viper is his helmet has this brain effect, like it has exposed brain, so it's kind of creepy looking. But you know, they're the survival trooper, pretty cool. And that is Fire Team 788 and all the figures that come with that set. Now, we're going to be taking a look at the Steel Corps Troopers next. Now, I didn't have the original. Originally, it was a mail-away figure, and it was called Steel Brigade. However, Hasbro lost the licensing right to that because they sold it to one of their former employees who also bought Action Force. And so he puts out Action Force, and Steel Brigade is part of his thing. They decided they wanted to use the Steel Brigade again, but they didn't have the license to use the name. So, and that was after this figure came out in 2010 as part of the Pursuit of Cobra line in the 25th anniversary style. Which, you know, it came with, some accessories and stuff, but I don't know where I put those. I've never been a big accessory guy, and I'm trying to match them all up now, but it's a lot. It's a big chore because I just put them all in baggies and didn't do much with it. Now, that's the only 3 3/4 inch or 4 inch Steel Brigade or Steel Corps, as they call them now, trooper I have, but I did get the original mail-away Starduster. Now, when we start talking about the character, and this is pretty much, I did make up another character, so we'll talk about her a bit too for the Steel Corps troopers, but Starduster, there's a bit to talk about, so we'll get into his character. Originally he was mail away in 1987, which is when I got this figure, but he was available sooner than that. And apparently what's going on with my hard drives, so I'll have to check that out later. But and he basically has a Duke body for the most part, but he's got his own. It looks like he's got a short fuse head, but they gave him black hair. But they made him original, made him look original, and it came with a black visor originally. But I think I put that on a different helmet or a different character years ago, and naturally, it wouldn't be a Joe take if I didn't drop something. And to drop a battle stand and not be able to see it on my floor, that is tough to get that with. There's Starduster in the 1987 version that I got. Now, there's some debate about when he actually originally came out, and we'll talk a bit about that character. But I also did get the updated version for the 25th anniversary style. This came in a 3-pack of officers. I'm pretty sure with Colonel Hawk, and no, this was the air pack. It came with Ace and Wild Bill. That's right, and Stardust. But he's the jump jetpack trooper. Now the other 1987 figure came with a jetpack 2, and I had that somewhere, but it's probably in a vehicle or somewhere. It's been years and years since it might even be in my battle platform up here, but I wasn't able to find it. And he came with a grenade launcher. He came with Gung Ho's grenade launcher originally, and then they gave when 25th anniversary, they didn't come with this one. It actually comes apart, and you can actually simulate like you're loading the grenade launcher. And this is what grenade launchers pretty much really look like. This comes apart really easy, and doesn't stay in his hand very well. And he had the original jump jet mold with the hose that attaches to the backpack, which the 1987 figure did not have. At least I don't think he did. I don't remember him coming with that. But he has the black visor like he was supposed to have. But this one's clear, so you can see through it. And it comes off really easy. And, it's a pretty decent figure. But like I said, it came with the Air Command pack for the 25th anniversary line. And, we'll check out the boxes for these guys. Now, the Steel Corps Troopers have 3 boxes, and we'll get into that. But we got the box, and mine came like this. When I ordered it, it got damaged in the mail. It's kind of messed up. But they're number 95 in the classified series and all that. And I like how they have the accessories here or on the back. One way or the other, it shows you all the accessories. This one's full. And yeah, see, it came with some blast effects. It came with all the pack of 9, which I have in a Ziploc bag, but I'm not going to break them all out because they are so easy to lose. Like I said, I've already lost them. But I do have 2 different sets out here right now, but I have others because they've had them. They originally came with the Viper 3-pack, which I have as well. So I have looked at it multiple times, and then there's back. And then, of course, you got the box art on the side, which it shows the female trooper and the male trooper, and it's pretty cool. So that is the Steel Corps troopers, according to the classified now. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they lost the rights to the name. Well, I know they lost the rights to the name because their former employee bought it, and he's the guy who does Valaverse, the Valaverse action figures. He does Action Force with it and Steel Brigade troopers. Now, it also came with a foot locker, which is nice. I did love these foot lockers. You could store all the accessories in here, which I do, and there's plenty of room for it. And man, I don't know what's going on over here with monthly hard drives, but they are being weird today. They're like unplugging themselves. I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with that. But stuff happens, but that's the Steel Corps Trooper foot locker. And then, of course, they come with it inside there. They can just sit in this box, which is this box art on the side, but in black and white. I love how they did these, and I wish they would still do them, but they don't, because they got to have the window packaging now, which everybody complained until they gave it back. But I'm kind of missing the non-window packaging again, but it doesn't really matter to me because I order everything online. So what you gonna do, right? All right, so Starduster got his box right here, and he's Edward Starduster Schuyler, and he is number 136 in the classified series. And actually, I have a story for how I acquired this figure, but I did not pay for this figure. I got this figure from Hasbro for free, and that's what they decided to do instead of what I asked for. But we'll chat about that a little bit, but let's look at these figures now, because we've got Steel Corps Trooper, the male version, is Jump Jet Pack, and I've got the blast effects in there so you see how that kind of looks. Now they didn't come with jetpacks originally, but I think it's cool that they did that, and it's neat that when I paired them up with Starduster, that they're all Jump Jet Troopers, so it's pretty badass. And they actually came with 3 guns, and it doesn't really tell you whose gun is whose, but I put him with the machine gun grenade launcher combo, and then he has a combat knife that slides right into the sheath right there on his chest. And then he has got a typical pistol, but this pistol does not have a slot for a suppressor. And that'll come up here in just a second, because they did come with a sniper rifle with a suppressor, and it does fit on this machine gun grenade launcher combo. And this female Steel Corps Trooper, who I call Sergeant Davis. She's like the squad leader for the Steel Corps. I gave her the sniper rifle with the suppressor. She's got another machine gun there. Like I said, they had 3 machine guns, and you can let it didn't really say which gun went to who. So and her sidearm is the same. Her combat knife is the same. So they both have sidearms and combat knives. So that made me happy. Like I said, they have the magazines that come out on all the guns, which it's cool, but it's also easy to lose. And the suppressor will fit into all 3 machine guns, so that's really cool. But not the pistol, which that's a little disappointing, because there's not even a slot for it, so you can't even do an innie or an outie. But they have the outie suppressor, and I'll show you. It just comes right off the sniper rifle, and you can just swap it to the other gun if you line it up properly, and suppressor on any of the rifles, which is badass. I wish it would have come with 1 more, so they both could have at least a suppressor, but it only came with 1 suppressor in this set. At least I'm pretty sure it only came to 1, because I've only got 1. Now, each of these also came with a swappable helmet, so you can change the style and look of their head sculpts. which is kind of cool. You got yellow and you got blue with the digital. I like the blue, which is how I got them set up. It looks more like the original, and that's going to take us to Starduster. But let's before we jump into Starduster, let's look at these Steel Brigade, Steel Corps side by side a little bit. You take off the jetpack here on this guy. Theirs stay on pretty good. Some of them stay on good and some don't. It's weird. But there you go. And then we'll take a look at them. And so, you know, they did a pretty good update. I actually like these better. Now, I don't have the original, so I can't compare to that. But the 25th anniversary one was really cool with the Pursuit of Cobra. For the Pursuit of Cobra line, that's my favorite line of the 25th anniversary style figures. But now Starduster all geared up here. He's got the same jetpack. It's painted differently, so his looks different. Theirs is the same. Now, you know what? I never have compared them up, so maybe the backpacks are a little different, but I don't think so. I think they're the exact same mold. Looks like it. I don't see why they would change the mold, but they do have different paint apps on both. He's got the star, and then they've got the flag with the serial number on there. That's pretty cool. But the blast effects are the same. So when he came out, they just gave him the same blast effects. He does have a sidearm. You can pop out. Now the original Starduster, the sidearm was on the left. So whether he's a lefty or righty, it doesn't really matter. But, it's just a standard. Looks like a 9mm Beretta standard sidearm, and he does have a boot knife, so he has a combat knife. So he is decked out with combat knife and sidearms. So I am good with that. So he has all the basics. And he has the grenade launcher he always came with, which is the same grenade launcher the Gun Ho came with in the retro. And well, I point at him directly. There we go. So yeah, he came with the same one. Only they have a silver paint app on part of it, and the rest is black, which I think is really cool. And then he's got the standard XMLR 3 GI Joe laser rifle, which is black instead of the original tan, but I like that. That's a better color for a soldier to have a black gun. And it comes with the binoculars, same as Duke's. So, you know, originally he didn't come with binoculars, but he's got the visor. You know, can go down over his eyes. And what made him really cool was he also came with a helmet, a swappable head, really. So you could actually troop build this guy and have him be a different Steel Corps trooper. But he is not a Steel Corps trooper, even though they were available mail-away at the same time. He was actually available sooner than that, but we'll talk about it. But officially, they list him as coming out in 1987. He came out a lot sooner. And I have some receipts that show otherwise, but there we go. That's Starduster, and you know, Steel Corps, and the Fire Team 78. That's all the figures. I'm going to play some file card videos for you, so you can know what who these characters are and what they're about. Now, like I said, the troopers, they're generic guys. They can be anybody, but you know, they have a specialty and they have a purpose. Same with the Steel Corps, but like I said, I made the female Steel Corps trooper into a character who I call Sergeant Davis. And when she becomes a GI Joe official, she'll hopefully gain a code name. You know, that might happen. We'll see what happens with that. But let me shut off my music here and we'll run these file cards. Now, I have Range Viper, like I said. I have Cobra Officer and Cobra Trooper, but I've already played those before. And I've got the Fire Team 788 all-in-one file card video to represent those two characters and the entire fire team. But Range Viper, he deserved his own little bit here because haven't had him on the show before. Hey, Cool Gamer, how you doing? Let me make sure I get your clip loaded up for later so I do not forget, sir, because I don't want to forget any of my friends, and you're all here. I appreciate you being here. And when Tiger joins us at the top of the hour, then we will play all your shout out clips. And there is Cool Gamer's clip, and it's loading. So you're all set, bud. Thank you. Thanks for jumping in. And thanks Joel for jumping in too, and Zilla and Betty. I appreciate you being here. Ready from Comfort Foods. Great retirement days and Comfort Foods. Check out her channel. She's got a cool channel. Joel's got a cool channel too. He does a lot of AI music like I do. So he's a cool dude. Okay. So let's listen to these file cards, and then I'll get into talking about the character.
Survival. Secondary specialty, infantry. Range Vipers are usually committed to long-term operations deep within unfriendly territory, completely cut off from communications or supplies. They have an unusually high tolerance for discomfort and can survive on a diet of snakes, grubs, roots, berries, nuts, and whatever slow rodents they can catch. They are expected to build their shelters out of indigenous materials, usually rocks and mud, and procure their own ammunition by way of hit-and-run raids on enemy ammo depots. Range Vipers are favorites of the Cobra High Command since they are inexpensive to sustain. Once they're in the field, they don't cost anything to feed, clothe, and arm. Range Vipers don't care who they shoot as long as they shoot at someone or something. That's why the Cobra High Command makes sure they stay out in the bush. Team 788. Personnel: Major Cobra Officer, Team Leader Cobra Trooper, Heavy Weapon Specialist, Range Viper, Reconnaissance and Survival Specialist. Primary specialty: Rapid Armored Assault. Secondary specialty: Deep Strike Operations. Intelligence Summary: Fire Team 788 is Cobra Commander's personal armored strike unit, assembled from 3 of Cobra's most accomplished field operatives and permanently assigned to his experimental command HISS tank. Unlike conventional Cobra formations, Fire Team 788 operates independently of Viper platoons, deploying ahead of larger offensives to eliminate command elements, destroy fortified positions, and create breakthroughs for advancing Cobra forces. Each member was personally selected after distinguishing themselves in separate theaters of operation. Together they combine battlefield command, overwhelming suppressive fire, and unmatched wilderness survival into a single highly mobile assault element. Team composition: Major Cobra Officer serves as commander and battlefield tactician, a veteran of countless Cobra offensive. He coordinates every movement of the team while directing, supporting infantry, armor, and artillery when required. Cobra Trooper provides heavy fire support, chosen from thousands of Cobra infantrymen for extraordinary aggression and combat effectiveness. He specializes in defending the command his tank while overwhelming enemy positions through relentless suppressive fire. Range Viper serves as reconnaissance specialist, an advanced hunter operating days ahead of the team when necessary. He identifies enemy movements, secures infiltration routes, and eliminates priority targets before the main assault begins. Operational notes: Fire Team 788 is rarely committed to prolonged campaigns. Instead, Cobra Commander deploys them only when a rapid and decisive battlefield victory is required. Their arrival is usually accompanied by the appearance of the command his tank, making the unit one of Cobra's most feared mobile strike formations. G.I. Joe intelligence is classified Fire Team 788 as a priority target. When encountered, commanders are advised to disrupt the team's coordination immediately, as allowing the 3 operators to function together dramatically increases their battlefield effectiveness. Motto: one team, one tank, one mission. One mission. Trooper, file assassins. Steel Corps troopers are the backbone of the G.I. Joe fighting force, the grunts of the team. They are chosen for their exceptional dedication and skills. They work hard to hone their skills so that they can move up the ranks into specialized positions. They meet every challenge with determination and enthusiasm and eagerly go on missions where they can watch and learn from their superiors. The Steel Corps are members of the G.I. Joe team's international security force. They can quickly provide regional stability to hotspots throughout the world without drawing the attention that the visible presence of the regular G.I. Joe team would. Each combat team functions as a reconnaissance, intelligence, surveillance, and target acquisition squadron. The entire sub-team is comprised of highly trained individuals, both military and civilian, some of whom distinguish themselves sufficiently to later be chosen to join the G.I. Joe team full time. From General Hawk's file, when I need 10 to 20 extra boots for an op, I don't need to look any further than the Steel Corps. They operate equally well night or day, and if I need to quell a public relations foul-up, they're our first line of defense. I once left 5 of them to guard a rear position so that the rest of my squad could infiltrate a corporate headquarters in Colombia. They were overrun by 20 alley vipers, but by the time we got back, they had 7 of them in custody. We're pretty sure they killed the rest. We fight for freedom wherever there's trouble! Code name Sergeant Davis. File name Amanda M. Davis. Grade E5 Sergeant U.S. Army. Primary specialty infantry squad leader. Secondary specialty protective security operations. Birthplace Omaha, Nebraska, USA. Sergeant Amanda M. Davis represents the very best of the Steel Corps, a seasoned infantry squad leader. She has earned a reputation through discipline, leadership, sound tactical judgment, and an unwavering commitment to the soldiers under her command. Whether assigned to peacekeeping operations, convoy security, or direct combat, Davis leads from the front, inspiring confidence through actions rather than words. Her greatest strength is not superior marksmanship or physical endurance, but her ability to keep her unit focused when missions begin to unravel. Davis has repeatedly demonstrated exceptional composure under fire, reorganizing scattered personnel, adapting to rapidly changing battlefield conditions, and accomplishing objectives that many believed were already lost. Fellow Steel Corps troopers know that when Sergeant Davis is leading the mission, every possible effort will be made to bring the entire team home. General Hawk has taken particular notice of Davis's professionalism, integrity, and natural leadership. Though still one of the Steel Corps, rising non-commissioned officer, she is increasingly entrusted with assignments involving senior G.I. Joe personnel and sensitive operations. Her instinctive understanding of protective security, combined with her ability to anticipate threats before they develop, has marked her as one of the organization's most promising future leaders. Leadership isn't about being in front. It's about making sure everyone behind you gets home. Yo, Joe! Starduster, jetpack trooper, file name Edward J. Schuyler, grade E5 Sergeant U.S. Army, birthplace Burlingame, California, primary specialty infantry transportable air wrecking, secondary specialty helicopter assault. Starduster was a circus trapeze artist before he enlisted in the Airborne Rangers. He found that his acrobatic skills and boundless energy came in handy when he was swinging from an assault helicopter by a 150-foot rope. Except, of course, this audience was throwing more than just popcorn and peanuts at him. It was Duke, however, who recognized how well this death-defying act would work with the G.I. Joe team's jet backpack. The combination has been a crowd pleaser ever since. From General Hawk's file, we could be pinned down by artillery rockets and flanking small arms fire. Every inch of sky lit by tracer. The lead so thick in the air, even the mosquitoes would take cover. But Starduster would be out there in flash to spot the bad guys, no question. Straight up in the flak with his characteristic show must go on attitude, grinning like a Cheshire cat as he calls in enemy positions for our own artillery to hit. I never fail to keep the act interesting.
All right. that is the five file cards I promised you. And I hope you enjoyed. I love putting them together. I've been enjoying doing these newer style with the realistic look. Okay, let's jump into these. This Fire Team 788. You've got your Cobra Trooper, you've got your Cobra Officer, and then you got your Range Fighter. As far as I'm concerned, you know, the troopers can be any kind of character you want. Same with the Cobra Officer, and I have various versions of Cobra Officer that I've written file cards myself for different ones. And Range Viper, like I said, it's the first time I've had him on here, so this is kind of Range Viper Starduster. It's kind of their mashup, but I decided to do the full team because that's the only Range Viper I've got in the classified at the moment, and I wouldn't mind getting the other one. But so the Fire Team 788 was pretty badass. I love the look. I love the colors. I was happy I was able to pick up this set a while back when I had the funds for it. And so in my head canon, since there's no real media for them, I see them as the support crew for the command his tank that Cobra Commander rides around in. And they are his elite he's chosen. And that's, you know, there's not much more to discuss on them except during the matchup. Now the Steel Core, in my G.I. Joe Lady Bloodright, both these figures made an appearance. Now she's Sergeant Davis in that, and he is my character Brad Gamson, who is Moss Chops. That's his code name in G.I. Joe. And so he made his appearance. They will, in part 2, they have speaking lines, and people will be speaking to them, and their names are revealed in that, but not in the first one that I'm going to be putting out. As soon as I have the remaining voices for that, which you know, I'm waiting on one voice actor, but I appreciate them, but I wish they'd get their act together so we could have the act going. Now, the way I thought about mashing these guys up is the big guy versus the Range Viper, and I think in a full-on matchup between the two, one-on-one, the Range Viper would win. So that's me. That's where I'm at with that. And then I've got Sergeant Davis here versus the Trooper, and she would win this encounter, I would think. And then you've got Starduster versus Cobra Officer, and it's a toss-up. So I think that we got a tie here. It just depends on how the situation plays out. Now on Joe Takes video I'll play here at the last, I do have a little scenario where I pit them against each other. So now it's up to you what you guys think. Let me know in the comments if you want who you think would win, the Fire Team 788 or Starduster and the Steel Core Troopers. So in my opinion, it depends on the field of battle. If they've got room to move, the dudes with the jetpacks they're gonna win because they got the air superiority. Get knocked out of the sky by the rocket launcher. So the Fire Team 788 is quite capable. 788 is quite capable of taking them on. So that leaves me talking about Starduster because he's the only one that actually is a character in the sense that he's not a troop builder, but he can be. They made it so he could. Now he was originally available in a cereal box, G.I. Joe Action Stars. Now they had different characters that they had come out that you could order. Duke was one. I can't remember the other one. But Starduster ended up being the final one and on the cover of the box. And so I wanted to show you, he came with the extra little fists and pointer finger and the gripper. So yeah, he's got extra hands, but I've never really been a big one. The reason why I got this out is because this came with something else. Because he originally came with a cereal box, they've got this punch out cardboard that you can punch out and you can actually put together and make a little cereal box out of. I haven't done that, but it's on here and I wanted to show it to you. It's pretty cool, and that's part of the classified Starduster, so I wanted to make sure it was included. I also want to talk about how I acquired this one. The original was a mail away, and the second one, like I said, I got in the command of this free pack of the air command. And then this guy here, I had picked up, and I'd ordered through Hasbro Pulse, a Slaughter's Marauders version of Sergeant Slaughter. Now, the cool thing about this Sergeant Slaughter was he comes with this big old duffel bag and dumbbells and all this extra stuff. But mine, in place of the duffel bag, was just wadded up brown paper bag style paper. And so I contacted Hasbro. I emailed them. I said, look, I showed them a picture. I said, you didn't send me the duffel bag. Can you just send me the duffel bag? That's all I asked for. But instead of that, they sent me a Starduster figure. And I'm like, okay, I guess one day maybe I'll pick up another Sergeant Slaughter to get the duffel bag. Or maybe he'll come out with a different set. Maybe the Triple T has a duffel bag, because the Renegades version with Mercer didn't come. I do have that. It's way down there, you can't see it, but I do have that. Okay, we got the chat here. Hello, Jess. Welcome in. Let me load up your clip so that when Tiger pops in here in just a few minutes, we will play your clip too with everybody else's. It's good to see you, Jess. Hope you're doing okay. I was just bragging about you not having voices for my G.I. Joe movie again, but but hopefully you'll get those to me soon. So that's my mashup, and Starduster as a character, he's pretty cool. He's a jump jet guy. No media appearances, so there's nothing really other than that he was on the cereal box. Is there anything to talk about except for the fact that there's a question about when he officially came out? Now, officially, YoDo.com says 1987, but he was available mail away through the cereal box as early as, I'm guessing, 1984 or 1985 at the latest. Oh, no worries, Jess. No worries. I'm just razzing you. And my proof for that is that the Hasbro put out a picture of the entire line of the year of G.I. Joe for 1984. And Starduster is in that lineup. So you've got all the characters from Cobra and G.I. Joe that year. And down here in the bottom corner, not in the exact corner, but next to put a Cobra Commander down there, you got Starduster. And those were the two mail-away figures. So there they are. Let me put these comments off the screen just for a second, and you can see there you got Hooded Cobra Commander and Starduster in the corner there, and they were listed as mail-away figures in 1984. So a year, yes, a year, yeah, 12 months. Thank you. We appreciate you, Jess. And so yeah, when did he come out? At the latest, 1985. So, and he has that old style without the ball joint neck. He has the original the original 3 years of G.I. Joe. They did not have a ball joint neck. They just swiveled left and right. Whereas the later ones, they had the ball joint, and you can move the head around in multiple directions. But see, he's got that old style head. But he's based off a Duke body, so there it is. That's the best we can say. And of course, Duke had parts from Airborne and Doc, and they just mishmashed Duke because he was originally a mail-away figure too, which is interesting. And he was available with the cereal at one point as well. So exactly when Starduster first was available, I'm thinking 1985. So but he's on the 1984 card with all the rest of the 1980 figures. So that's my take on Starduster, and my take on the mashup between 788 and Steel Corps Troopers and Starduster. So I hope you enjoyed, and we're going to jump into Fridays from the Hilt here. Thank you for joining me, and I'm going to play the outro and then a couple of clip and the On Joe Take 788. So it's going to be a few minutes, and we'll get things together, and I'll play a music video, and then we'll jump on in here and have some more fun tonight. But so at 88, Joe Takes, we've done in one video, which I'll put out tomorrow on From the Hill, and next Wednesday on Logan and G.I. Joe Beach. So I'll see you in a few minutes here. There. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me.
Watch New Joe Takes live on Fridays from the Hilt. All the same G.I. Joe fun, just found a new home. Fridays are from the Hilt. summer sun was burning red, the warning sirens cried. Episode 88 stood tall, then Cobra changed the tide. Across the smoke, the officer raised one gloved hand on high. Fire team 788 marched in to claim both earth and sky. Steel Corps locked their rifles down, standing side by side. Then Starduster lit the heavens with a fearless ranger's stride. Trace of fire chased every cloud. The battle lines were drawn. The crowd looked up in disbelief. The summer war was on. Orders met determination. Courage answered fear. One side fought for conquest, one to keep hope here. Summer of 788, fire in the evening light. Every inch of sky was burning, still the Joes refused to die. Summer of 788, hear those engines scream. Steel stood fast below the fire, while Starduster ruled the scene. The officer kept pointing forward, pushed them from the hill. Cobra troopers stormed through dust and smoke, driven by
Boss, I think maybe we should have waited for the hiss tank. You think? Well, Starduster, it looks like you guys didn't even need me.
No gung-ho. Just knowing you were here was all the backup we needed.
My room full of Joe take dreams, Crimson Guard with eyes on the team. Snake eyes silent and mean, but tough to rile. Roadblock rhymes and cooks with style. Duke has the first shirt, making with a plan. Cobra Commander schemes with his clan. Scarlet sharp hits, hard flips fast. Destro's armor gleams from the past. My G.I. Joe takes fierce and honest view. Red versus blue, it's up to you. Stay a while and listen for the consumerism. My G.I. Joe's takes giving with enthusiasm. Sergeant shifting sneaks in disguise. Storm shadows blade cut through lies. Baroness cold with her deadly aim. Shipwreck laughs wins the game. Doc's healing hand in the fray. Flint shotgun clears the way. Major Blood's battle cry echoes near. General Hawk leads we cheer. From the hilt on YouTube, tune in for a day. Joe takes to help you with your play. Let's put these characters to the test. I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe gamer, and I play it best. Yo, Joe!